When we think about the history of the African American community in St. Petersburg, no story is complete without talking about the Manhattan
Yeah.
Casino
Yeah.
and the role that it played during what would we say from the 50s to 60s or
No, from the 30s to
30s.
the early 60s, yes.
Tell me about what happened at the Manhattan Casino. I've heard wonderful stories,
Yes.
but just paint a picture.
What didn't happen at the Manhattan Casino? Gibbs High held their proms there. All of the social clubs and organizations held their functions there. Churches held functions there. But the main part was the nightlife. The nightlife was just amazing. I don't think that there is a musician, African American, a vocalist that we could name, regardless of the genre, that did not appear at the Manhattan
So
Casino.
big names. We're talking the
Mahalia
biggest
Jackson,
names.
Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Ike Tina Turner, Sam Cooke,
Coming
James
through
Brown,
Manhattan Casino.
B.B. King, Lena Horne, coming through the Manhattan Casino. And why? Because we're talking Jim Crow.
Yes.
And so these famous musicians still could not play in venues that were outside of African American communities.
And still could not sleep.
Still could not
in the hotels
sleep. So this is
that would
the
house them.
Chitlin Circuit
Yes.
that was throughout the South.
Yes.
And that was where African American performers could play. And in some places it was little more than a shack. But in St. Petersburg,
It was the Manhattan Casino.
the Manhattan Casino.
Built by Elder Jordan.
Built by Elder Jordan as the Jordan Dance Hall, and the name was changed when he sold it. But you know what's so incredible about the Manhattan? We have a picture of, I believe it was Louis Armstrong performing. And when you look at the audience, it's a mixed audience.
Of course
It's
it was.
black and white.
Of course.
Because if white people wanted to hear these famous
They had
musicians,
to come.
they had to come here. So someone asked me, was the audience segregated? Because in many pictures you see there'll be a rope down not at the Manhattan. They were just all mingled in together,
Wow.
listening to these great musicians.
One of the first places our community learned to stand shoulder to shoulder.
Yes, together.
Music uniting us.
Yes. And you know, James Brown has said really kicked off his career at the Manhattan.
Ray Charles
Ray
played
Charles, yes, but James Brown used to rehearse there and do
Wow.
some other things. And Ray Charles, as you know, wrote a song about St. Petersburg.
Yes.
It's not well known, but we know it.
We know it.
Yes.
So much history is in the bones of that
Of
building.
that
You
building.
feel it when you walk into the
Yes,
building.
yes.
The great things that happened there,
Yes,
the
yes.
music that was created there and wafted through the community, that never goes away.
It was our cultural center.
It was our cultural
It was
center.
our cultural center. We had our religious institutions, we had our schools and our educational institutions, but the Manhattan was our cultural center.